Gauranga, Gandharika Giridhari, Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Jiyo Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda, Gopinath Madan Mohan Jiyo Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa, Astotarasata Shri Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Mahabhagavat Srila Gaura Kishora Das Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Vaishnava Sarvabhaum Shri Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Gaudiya Vedanta Charya Baladev Vidibhushan Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Trai Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sada Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Swarup Damodar Rai Ramanandadi Gaura Parshada Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sigo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Antardweep Mayapur Simantadweep Godrundweep Majidweep Koladweep Ritudweep Janadweep Moda Drumadweep Rudadweep Atmaka Shri Shri Navadweep Dhama Ki Jai. Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dvadashavanatmaka Shri Braj Mandala Dhama Ki Jai. Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Yamuna Ganga Tulusi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Radha Gopinath Radha Madan Mohan Jiyo Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Radha Shyama Sundar Radha Raman Radha Damodar Jiyo Ki Jai. Shrimati Lalita Vishaka Adi Ashta Sakhi Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Manjari Rati Manjari Ananga Manjari Adi Manjari Vrinda Ki Jai. Shrimati Brinda Devi Ki Jai. Shrimati Purnamasi Yogamaya Devi Ki Jai. Shri Gopishwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Sarva Bhishta Pradata Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Jiyo Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dhama Ki Jai. Jai Bhakti Vigna Vinashana Shri Nrsinga Bhagavan Ki. Bhakti Vigna Vinashana Shri Nrsinga Bhagavan Ki Jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashana Shri Nrsinga Bhagavan Ki Jai. Bhakta Pravara Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Lakshmi Nrsinga Deva Ki Jai. Shri Nrsinga Chaturdasi Ki Jai. Shri Nrsinga Chaturdasi Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Premanande. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Nitai Gaur Premanande. So we want to start on time, so I'm just going to very short.
Okay.
And you're going to do a Abhishek, right?
Yes.
Of which deities?
It'll be Nitai Gaur, because
Oh.
we don't have Lord Nrsingadev.
But you have picture of Lord Nrsingadev.
We do, if you prefer that, we can do that. Sukanta Prabhu is coming to do the Abhishek.
He is?
Yeah, he's going to actually do it.
Okay, that's good.
Whatever you think is best, we'll do that.
Well, you can also do Abhishek to a picture.
Okay.
There are mantras. He knows. He'll know how to do that.
Okay.
But anyway, he can decide what to do.
Okay.
And so we're going to have 15 minutes of kirtan.
Okay.
And then we're going to begin the Harikatha, and it will go for only 1 hour.
Excellent.
It will go till from 5 to 6. 6 will be finished. We can do the Abhishek and the Artik. I don't know if you're planning to do an Artik.
We can,
As you like.
Okay. Probably just, we have the artichoke, yeah. Abhishek and then artichoke.
No, it's only up to you. We can just do the Abhishek because the kirtan will be going on during the Abhishek also.
Sounds good.
Okay? All right. So all the devotees should chant nice and loud. Not like little mice, little Mickey mice. Okay? You have to chant loud. I don't know if this is the best. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Gronkyo Спасибо! Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, 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 Nitai Jaya Sacinandana, Jaya Sacinandana, Jaya Sacinandana, Jaya Sacinandana, Jaya Sacinandana, Gaura Hari, Jaya Sacinandana, Gaura Hari. Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Jaya Sacinandana, Gaura Hari, Jaya Sacinandana, Gaura Hari. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Namaste, Namaste Narasingaya. Namaste Narasingaya. Lada Lada Dayane. Lada Lada Dayane. Hiranya Kashi Kor Baksha. Hiranya Kashi Kor Baksha. Shilatankana Kalaye. Shilatankana Kalaye. Itona Shingo Paratona Shingo. Itona Shingo Paratona Shingo. Yato Yato Yami Tatona Shingo. Yato Yato Yami Tatona Shingo. Bahir Nishingo, Hriday Nishingo. Bahir Nishingo, Hriday Nishingo. Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Anubrinda Keshavadrita Narahari Ropa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Avatara Kamala Hare Adhika Shringa Kamalavarenakam Adbhuta Shringam Salita Hiranyakashipu Tanubrinda Keshavadrita Narahari Ropa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Avatara Kamala Hare Adhika Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Hari Ropa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Nrsimha Dev Jaya Nrsimha Dev Nrsimha Dev Jaya Nrsimha Dev Jaya Nrsimha Dev Jaya Nrsimha Dev Nrsimha Dev Jaya Nrsimha Dev Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Prahlad Nrsimha Jaya Prahlad Nrsimha Prahlad Nrsimha Jaya Prahlad Nrsimha Jaya Lakshmi Nrsimha Jaya Lakshmi Nrsimha Lakshmi Nrsimha Jaya Lakshmi Nrsimha Jai Nrsimha Dev Nrsimha Dev Nrsimha Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Nitai Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Shri Nishringa Chaturdasi ki, Nishringa Bhagavan ki, Bhakta Pravra Shikolad Maharaj ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Give me the mridanga for a second. I just wanted to show one beat to your son.
Oh.
He's playing good, but he's only playing the same beat. But when the kirtan begins to speed up, then you switch beats. You don't keep on doing. It's been a long time since I played the same. This is what he's mostly playing. But when it speeds up and it's gonna start to hit a crescendo, then you go into the classic beat with the kartals. Play the kartals. So then it goes like at the end. I'm going Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol. That's not the time to play the same. That's not the time to play that. But what you play at that time is the ending beat. I don't know what it's called, but we learned it really well in the early days of ISKCON, but okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Keep playing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So he's very good, mridanga player. You're playing very good, but you need to learn this beat, okay? Yeah, we just need to film it or something. Sure. I'm sure it's available online even, But without this, you cannot have a kirtan properly. It has to go into that mode. Like this is okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
But then when the speeds up and the intensity, then you have to do with the mridanga.
Understood.
And the mridanga makes everyone dance. Okay.
Thank you for the
sure.
lessons, Maharaj.
Om Jnana Timirandasya. You have that? Why you didn't give it to me when I was singing? What? Can't depend on anyone. thing goes like this, right? Is it turned on? We'll turn it on, please. Oh, wait.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Gauranga. Nishinga Bhagavan ki jai. Nishinga Bhagavan ki jai. Bhakta Pravara Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Thank you for the loudspeaker. Alright, so I spent the last almost 1 week reading the entire 9 chapters of the Prahlad Nrsinga history, but that was not sufficient time, of course, to read the purports. But we read a few purports here and there. But we covered that, and so tonight I'm going to just give like a synopsis of the pastimes and some of the important shlokas, which are spoken by who? Who spoke the important shlokas in the Nrsinga pastime? Did Hiranyakashipu speak the important shlokas? He also spoke some shlokas. But who spoke the important shlokas? Who? Prahlad what? Prahlad Maharaj. Say it.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Yes. He's not just Prahlad. We're not just on a first name basis. He's a Mahajan of the universe, okay? You know, he's no small timer. So you always call him Prahlad Maharaj. Never just say Prahlad. I mean, in the middle of the pastime you can say it like that. But so, Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Vansha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo 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 Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Trishe Nama Nityanandam Namastubhyam Premananda Pradayane Kalo Kalmashanashaya Janava Pataye Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. You can all say together with me, Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindai Tulsi Devyai Priyai Kesavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. So first of all, on this most auspicious day of Sri Nrsinga Chaturdasi, the appearance day of Lord Nrsingadev, of course he didn't appear like normal people from a womb growing up from babyhood. He just appeared. Yes. For the first time. Even Lakshmi Devi had never seen that form of her worshipable Lord and Master. Because she was also a little bit afraid at the end of the story to approach him. There were so many that were afraid. The Brahma, Shiva, all of them. They wouldn't approach Nrsingadev because he was still very angry. We'll get to that. But this appearance of Lord Nrsingadev is super auspicious amongst all the different avatars. And we have the Das avatars and so forth. But Lord Nrsingadev is in a special category because he appeared in the way that he did, in the form that he did, and with the activities that he performed. And for what reason? For what reason did he appear? To protect Prahlad Maharaj, his pure devotee. So, for all of the Vaishnavas, Lord Nrsingadev is the protector. I will remind, or maybe you haven't heard it before, but in the very early days of Prabhupada's Western preaching mission, then Prabhupada became ill. I remember that was around 73 or so. There was a couple times when he became ill. And devotees were very concerned, and they asked Srila Prabhupada, what can we do? And he said, everyone in every temple should pray like 3 times a day to chant all the mantras to Lord Nrsingadev and pray for your spiritual master. You can specifically ask to Lord Nrsingadev, please allow our spiritual master to stay with us, like that. So, first of all, I'm offering my obeisances to the personality who brought Lord Nrsingadev to the whole world. And who is that? Huh? His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He brought to the whole world. You know, and it's interesting because I know that Shamarani Didi was told by him he wanted her to paint various pictures of Lord Nrsingadev and so forth. The one that we have now, which is the most famous, that one was painted by the ISKCON artists at that time when the 7th canto came out. You know the one? Where he's in this position and Prahlad is next to him. He's like a little small and he has a garland that he's lifting up. You see? So Prabhupada wanted to encourage us. Us means, like, not all of us in this room, because some of you are born as devotees. But the majority of devotees are not necessarily born as devotees. We're born in an atheistic, becoming more atheistic all the time. In America and Europe and places. Very degraded. Everyone is very sinful. You know, so you can say that we were born in the dynasty of the demons, just like Prahlad Maharaj was born as the son of the greatest demon in the entire universe. Do you know how great Hiranyakashipu was? He conquered the entire universe. He conquered all the planetary systems of the heavenly planets except for Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, like that. Oh, I'm getting carried away. I didn't finish my obeisances first. So, that personality, Srila Prabhupada, I was telling, he was encouraging us. And it was so true. Because we're born in the family of demons. People that eat meat, and they don't know what is to be done, what is not to be done, sinful life, all of that, you see. So, but Srila Prabhupada wanted us to know very matter-of-factly, because before the 7th canto came out, that took many years, but Prabhupada already gave so many lectures and synopsis of the glories of Prahlad Maharaj, and he used to quote his shlokas all the time. You know, Nate vidu svarta gatim hi vishnum. You know, so many of these shlokas spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. So I was very concerned for my own sake that I should go over prior to Nrsinga Chaturdasi. I should try to read through. So we had our little group and there was a Russian translation going on. But we made it through all of the 9 chapters. 9 chapters of 7th canto are this pastime. So, and it's very wonderful to meditate upon Prahlad Maharaj's moods and all, which he got from his spiritual master, which is who? Narada Muni. So my obeisances to Srila Prabhupada for giving this wealth of Lord Nrsingadev and Prahlad Maharaj to the whole world. And then I offer my same humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my beloved Siksha Gurus, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, and Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And my Dandavat pranams to the lotus feet of all my Rupanuga Guru Varga. And my Dandavat pranams to all the Vaishnavas, to all the Vaishnavis. So, how did the whole pastime of Lord Nrsingadev begin? What's the very most beginning point of that pastime? Can you say? Huh? Yeah. Where? Huh? Yes. In Vaikuntha. Yes. And there were 2 gatekeepers there to the gates of Vaikuntha. And what were their names? Yes. The other day we were being asked the question, which of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, which one is Jai and which one is Vijay? Do you know, any of you? Huh? I didn't know until I read it the other day in Prabhupada's book. You know? Okay. Anyone else knows? Prabhupada. Yeah. And Vijay is Hiranyaksha. So this is the beginning of the pastime. You've all heard the story before. I don't have to tell all the details. But the 4 Kumaras came there. And why were they stopped by the gatekeepers? Ordinarily, they would never stop great sages from entering. But somehow or other, some doubt came into their hearts and they, no, you cannot enter. And then, ordinarily, the great sages, the 4 Kumaras, they would not become angry and upset, but they also became angry and upset. Why is this going on? Because there's one supreme cause of all causes. What is that? Well, first of all, Yogamaya is making it happen, right? Yogamaya is inspiring in the hearts. But why is Yogamaya inspiring that in the hearts?
The Lord's desire.
Yes, what desire of the Lord? What desire? Huh?
His desire to fight.
No, but why does he have such a desire to fight?
Because he wants to experience everything. He wants to.
There's only one word to answer this question. Raso Vai Saha. You know those 3 words? Everyone say. Raso Vai Saha. Once more.
Raso Vai Saha.
This is a statement in the Vedas. Raso Vai Saha means that supreme absolute truth from whom everything emanates, who has created everything, who is the origin of everything, who is existing before anything existed, that supreme absolute truth, what is his nature? He is made of rasa. Try to understand. Raso Vai Saha means he is rasa. He is rasa. Krishna is made of rasa. What is Srimati Radhika made of? Which prem? Any prem? Huh? Mahabhav. The highest. Mahabhav Swarupini. That's Srimati Radhika. And Rasika Shekhar Krishna, the supreme taster of all rasa. Now try to understand the next thing I'm going to say. Nothing happens at all. Nothing happens at all without this cause. The universes are not created. Vaikuntha and all the spiritual world has not existed. Krishna does not expand himself into innumerable separated parts and parcels called jivas, and also expand himself into unlimited numbers of avatars of his own self, expansions of his own self. None of that happens at all without this cause. Raso Vaisaha. Krishna is the supreme taster of rasa. He is made of rasa, and therefore everything that exists is from him for his purpose of experiencing and tasting rasa. He's number one. Everyone else is second. So that cause was noticed by who? By Jai and Vijay. Jai and Vijay noticed what? They noticed that their master, Lord Narayan, has a desire to taste a particular rasa. Which rasa? Huh? Which rasa?
Vira.
Vira. What is Vira rasa?
Chivalry. Chivalry, the fighting spirit.
Yes, displaying power, heroism. All of that is part of that rasa. So Jai and Vijay noticed, they could detect, because the pure servant of the pure master can detect if they have some particular desire. Okay? They don't have to say it. They can perceive, they can detect. So they detected that Lord Narayan has the desire to taste what rasa? Everyone?
Vira.
Vira rasa. Everyone say.
Vira rasa.
Vira. Okay? Because of his desire, this all happened. Because why? Because Yoga Maya knows everything. She is the supreme pastime potency of Krishna. Yoga Maya knows every desire of Krishna, everything. And she makes all the arrangements to fulfill Krishna's desires. So therefore she inspired in whose heart? Jai and Vijay's heart. Then she inspired in the hearts of the four Kumaras. And they became cursed, and the cursors were there. But then at that moment, then Lord Narayan came. He saw that this is going on. So this was very unhappy situation, that they've been cursed. What did they curse them to do? What were they cursed to do? What was going to happen to them? They'd have to come down from Vaikuntha into the material world, and they would have to become demons. But they were given some alternate choice. What was the choice? 7 lives as what? Devotees. Well, if they were so anxious to go back to Vaikuntha, then why did they not choose the devotees? It would have been much more blissful. Yeah, they'll go back very quickly. Only 3 births, 3 incarnations. Of course, this is taking place over millions and billions of years, actually. What yuga did Lord Nrsingadev appear in? Anyone? That's because you heard it today. Satya Yuga. When we went there to Nrsiнгapalli, then we read a short part from Navadvip Mahatmya. And there it is told that Lord Nrsingadev in Satya Yuga, after killing Hiranyakashipu, then he flew here to Navadvip Dham, And that place, Nrsimhapalli, is where he stayed for quite some time, and the demigods also came there, and they had a lot of hillocks at that time, and they built temples and very beautiful residential places, and temple for Lord Nrsimhadev, like that. So that was millions of years ago. So just starting out from this point, it's very important that devotees understand Raso Vaisaha. Nothing happens. The jivas don't even exist, especially the jivas that are conditioned jivas. Because Krishna wants to taste all varieties of rasa. And he tastes every single rasa. So, now fast forwarding, the two demons took birth as brothers. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. And they began to terrorize the universe. First of all, Hiranyaksha. And Hiranyaksha was causing so much problems that even the earth, whether you think it's flat or you think it's round, I have my own opinion on that, according to the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. But nevertheless, somehow or other it slipped down. And therefore the Lord had to take a form in which he could rescue the earth planet and also fight with this demon. We were in Malaysia with Srila Gurudev. I believe it was the year 2000. And somehow, I think it was around this time, Gurudev told this pastime very briefly. But when he described that why did the Lord take the form of a boar, and then Gurudev began to almost kind of like with his arms and so forth, acting out how a boar can dive and swim very rapidly, and with his tusks he can do this activity. But also, how do you detect where is the earth? By smell. You heard of the fragrance of the earth? Yes. So the boar can detect, and he found where the earth was, and then he lifted with his tusks. Shri Varaha Deva Ki Jai, Lakshmi Varaha Dev Ki Jai. He's our deity in Keshavji Gaudiya Mat. Very beautiful. And also in Devananda Gaudiya Mat, Param Gurudev installed. I don't think Lakshmi Varaha, only Varaha Dev. But Gurudev installed Lakshmi Varaha Dev. So we like Varahadev a lot. Yeah. And so then they had the big battle, and then he was killed. He was completely slaughtered by this boar incarnation. They fought for a long time. Because why? Because Krishna wanted to taste ras. And the devotee wanted to supply this Vira ras. So this, in the form of these demons, they're actually serving the Supreme Lord's desire, you see. Alright, so then, what happened after he was killed, all the wives of Hiranyaksha were crying and lamenting, and then, Hiranyakashipu, of course, he was very upset. But he told some transcendental knowledge, get that. He was trying to comfort them and trying to enlighten them that we're not this physical body. And he preached that no one should lament because everyone is here temporarily, and so forth, you know. But then, Hiranyakashipu, he wanted to get revenge. So what did he do? He wanted to get such revenge that he would completely destroy all the situations of even the laws of the universe. If you do good, then good comes to you. He reversed those laws. If you do bad, then good comes to you. Just imagine. So Hiranyakashipu wanted to become immortal. And therefore he went to the, what was it called? The Mandara Mountain? Mandara Mountain range. And we have some nice paintings by our ISKCON devotees that depicted how he was doing his severe austerities. Impossible for anyone to do. Severe austerities. Was it that he was standing on one leg? Yeah, one leg with his arms upraised. And he stood there for hundreds of years. And what happened during that time? The ants built ant hills around him and ate all of the flesh on his body. Only his skeleton remained, just imagine. And he, by his power, was able to keep his life force just within the bones of the, and like that. And then what started happening was the whole universe began feeling completely burning heat, because from the top of his head began to come all these flames that circulated all throughout the whole universe. And then at that point, then the demi, we can't take this anymore. And then they came and said, Brahmaji, you have to go, do something. So Brahmaji came, and from the air he looked down, and then when he saw this shape, just the skeletons and all that, then he said, just see how powerful are the demons. When they want to fulfill their material desires, they can do such severe austerities. So then he came down on his swan carrier, and from his kamandalu he gave drops of water on those bones. And then what happened? Suddenly the bones returned, the whole body returned with a very extremely beautiful, powerful physical body. Very, very capable. And then he fell down to the ground and paid his obeisances to Lord Brahma. So then there was a little exchange, and then Lord Brahma says, what do you want? What benediction do you want, O demon? And then what did he say? I want to become what?
Immortal.
What?
Immortal.
Yes. Then what did Lord Brahma respond to this demon? No can do. Why can't he do? Because even Brahma, he lived for, 300 something trillion years, okay? But still, he has to leave this world, this body. He has to leave. He's not immortal. He does not live forever. Only those who go to the transcendental supreme abode of Vaikuntha, the spiritual sky, the spiritual world, only they are immortal. No one else in this world. You're only going to get a poor facsimile that may convince you. Like demons, they always want to be immortal. Like just even now. Even the demons, Rakshasas, that are controlling the big pharma and this and that, they all want to become immortal. They don't care at whose expense. But guess what? They're tiny, tiny, tiny little demons that are going to be completely ground to a pulp under the feet of time. And they're gone. Gone. Nobody will ever remember them. They will not remember their trillions of dollars, and they'll be in the bodies of lower species. So, but Hiranyakashipu, he was an extraordinary demon. So then he thought to himself, oh, okay, I can't become immortal he cannot give me the benediction of immortality. Then I'll ask him for other benedictions, which, in my estimation, it will make me immortal. Now, all of you have to tell, what did he ask for? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that. Yes?
Not to be killed inside or outside.
Inside of what?
Building.
Okay. Not to be killed inside or outside. Next.
Not to be killed in the land or the sky.
Or the sea. Land, sea, or air.
Not to be killed by man or animal.
Yes. I don't remember, but I think it was not just man or animal, but it was any species, man or animal or any species that is created by you, Brahma, like that. Okay, he was making sure the list was complete.
And any weapon known to man.
Or any weapon wielded by man. Then?
Any instrument, like gun or something.
Yeah, any weapon. Yeah. He could not be killed by any weapon. Then?
Not in the night or in the day.
Yes. Not in the daytime or at night. Did we finish our Hiranyakashipu list yet? Huh? No day, month, or year. Okay.
Nothing living or non-living.
Nothing living or non-living. Yeah, I don't remember that one specifically, but we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
There was no weapon on the man.
Yes, but the nails are not living or they're not living or they're not dead. That's the thing about the fingernails. So therefore, when he appeared, why did he appear in that form? With the very pointy ears, a tongue like a snake, very shrill, loud sound, very powerful. It's just described how his neck and his waist and his chest and all, how Lord Nrsingadev, how he looked. And so he appeared in that form to answer all of these benedictions. He kept to them. But later on, at the end of the whole pastime, then Lord Nrsingadev told to Brahma, don't give benedictions like this to the demons anymore. It becomes very complicated. So he... Alright, so let's just count it down right now. How did he defeat each one of these? You said inside or outside?
It's at the threshold.
Yeah, it's in between, in the doorway. Okay.
Nor day nor night.
Not day or night. At this time. I timed it today so that we would be telling this at dusk. This is the time. Then? Huh?
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, the land or sea, so not on land or not on the sea.
In the air.
On the lap. That's what you just said?
Yeah.
Yes. On the lap. The lap is not on the land, not on the sea, not in the air. How about not by any creature made by you, O Lord Brahma, man, animal? Then he can't. Half man, half lion. Yes.
Also the creator of Brahma himself.
The creator of? Brahma.
Is the creator of Brahma, not one that's the creator of Shiva.
Right. Yeah. So that's how he did it. Because he cannot be a creation. He cannot be any living being that is created by Brahma. So he's the Lord himself, but also he's not from any species. He is combination. Now what about the weapon? That's the most interesting one of all. Yeah. And it couldn't be living or non-living. So the nails. We love these sharp nails. Tavakara kamala bare nakam. Adbhuta shringam. Adbhuta. Most wonderful. Dalita hiranyakashipu tanu bringam. Bringam means like a wasp, like an insect. And Dalita means he ripped apart with his nails. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare. So, in that way, now Hiranyakashipu, he thought that he had become immortal. So now Hiranyakashipu began to rejoice. I am immortal! We used to have a drama. It's one of the famous dramas, and you've probably played it many times. But it was originally written by Nayana Biram, and it was in rhyming also, like that. I don't want to be killed in day or night. That's all right, like that kind of drama. Yeah. Okay, so Hiranyakashipu began to terrorize the entire universe at that point. And he was so powerful, no one could stand in front of him. Of course, he didn't fight directly with Lord Shiva, nor Lord Vishnu, nor Brahma. They were not affected in their in their abodes within this universe. But all other demigods were fleeing in all directions. They had lost their homes, everything. So now he captured Indra's kingdom. And then he sat on the throne of Indra. Yes. And now he became the complete controller of the universe in his estimation, you see. But very soon the pastime begins to unfold that while he was doing his austerities in the Mandara mountain, the demigods kidnapped his wife. What was her name again? Huh? Kayadhu, yeah. Kayadhu. They kidnapped her, and they were pulling her away through the sky, and she was crying very loudly because she was pregnant with the child of Hiranyakashipu. And they thought, well, we can't do anything about Hiranyakashipu himself. We're just going to have to live through this somehow or other, but we can get rid of his offspring, who's definitely going to be a great demon like him. So as they were pulling her away, then who came there? Narada Muni Bajai Vina Radhika Ramana Name. And then Narada Muni stopped them. And he said, why are you taking this woman away? Because in her womb is a demon. She will give birth to this demon. So we want to kill the demon. And then he told them, no, he's not a demon. He's a great devotee. Don't worry, I will take her to my ashram. And then they let go of her, and he took her to his ashram. And there he began reciting all transcendental knowledge, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. And she was hearing, and also the child in the womb was hearing. And guess who that child was? Prahlad Maharaj. Do you know how it happened that he became Prahlad Maharaj? How did he end up in this womb as the son of Hiranyakashipu? What did he do in his previous life? Okay, I think you haven't heard this before. Gurudev told also. Prahlad Maharaj was a Brahmin in a previous life. And he left his Brahminical principles to be with a prostitute. And they somehow or other, the prostitute and Prahlad in that body, they had some very heavy quarrel and disagreement, and then they were kind of in a wooded area, and there was a temple there, and it was nighttime, and rain started to come, and so they took shelter in the temple, but they didn't know that each other were there in that same temple. They didn't know that. And what happened was, because of extreme agony and anxiety and everything, he didn't eat anything or drink a drop of water for that whole night. And guess what the temple was? It was a Nrsingadev temple. And therefore, he became a pure devotee of Lord Nrsingadev. That's one story that is told about Prahlad's previous life. So, Narada Muni...
Was it an Ekadasi?
Huh?
Was it an Ekadasi?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. Did you read that, or...?
For some reason that's in my mind.
Yeah, probably. Oh, you know what? It was... I completely forgot. Thank you for mentioning that. It was Nrsinga Chaturdasi. So in that way, he got such powerful benediction from that. And he became the son of Hiranyakashipu and the disciple of Narada Muni. And you'll read in the chapters how Prahlad Maharaj, when he was a small boy, how he was just, his qualities were totally extraordinary, and he was always overwhelmed with emotions and loving sentiments towards the Lord, and tears coming from his eyes and all of this, when he was just a small boy, So, as the story progresses, we finally come to the main chapter, which is called, wait, sorry, I should have gotten this. Okay. 7th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, and 5th chapter, Prahlad Maharaj, the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu. So, Prahlad Maharaj was already educated in devotional service, devotional life, but when his father sent him to those 2 sons of Sukracharya to be educated, they accepted him at their school along with the other sons of the Asuras. Prahlad certainly heard, and he also recited the topics of politics and economics taught by the teachers, but he understood that political philosophy, it involves considering someone a friend and someone else an enemy. That's what political philosophy is. This is my friend, this is my enemy. I'm going to befriend him and destroy him. That's the whole thing about politics. And thus he did not like it. Prahlad didn't like that philosophy that he's hearing from the teachers. So, then Narada Muni is telling this story. You know who he's telling it to? Who is Narada Muni telling this story to? Huh? I can't hear. Maharaj Yudhishthir. Yes. Maharaj Yudhishthir. He's telling this story to him. So now he continues and he says, my dear king, Yudhishthir, once upon a time, my dear king Yudhishthir, once upon a time the king of the demons Hiranyakashipu took his son Prahlad on his lap and very affectionately inquired, my dear son, please let me know what you think is the best of all subjects that you have studied from your teachers. Now here's the first shloka from Prahlad in all of these stories, okay, in all of these chapters. Shri Prahlad Uvacha Tatsadu manye asuravarya dehinam sada samudvigna diyam asadgrahat hitvat mapatam griham andakupam vanam gato yad dharim ashrayeta. So what did Prahlad Maharaj call his father? He says Asuravarya, O best of the Asuras. He didn't call him, oh my dear father. And what did his father ask? He wanted to hear from him what? What was the best thing that you learned? So he answered the following. Prahlad Maharaj replied, O best of the Asuras, king of the demons, as far as I have learned from my spiritual master, any person who has accepted a temporary body and who is in temporary household life is certainly embarrassed by anxiety because of having fallen in a dark well where there is no water but only suffering. One should give up this position. Now he's telling the best knowledge that he learned. That one should give up this position and go to the forest. What's the word for forest? Vana. Vana. One should go to the forest. But more clearly, of course this is Prabhupada's wording, one should go to Vrindavana, where only Krishna consciousness is prevalent. And he should thus take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he directly says, Vanam gato yad dharim ashrayeta. That you should take shelter of Hari, Lord Vishnu. And when Hiranyakashipu heard these words from his son, he was like, what? And he looked at the teachers. He said, no, it's not us. We didn't do it. So in this way, this pastime began to unfold. So this applies to everyone in the material world. And Prahlad Maharaj is making this point, this supreme point, that you don't have any other recourse. You're in a material body, and you're in samudvigna dhyam asadgrahat, because you've accepted the asat, the temporary, as being permanent. So, samudvigna dhyam asadgrahat, that you are constantly in anxiety because you have accepted this temporary body as yourself. You've accepted all the bodies of your children and all so forth as yourself. So, what should you do? Hitvatmapatam. You know what that means? You should give up the place where the Atma is killed. Hitvatmapatam. And do what? Try to get out of the andakupam. What does andakupam mean? Huh? What is a kupa? It means a well, where there's water in the well. Huh? But this is a dark well. And of course there's a whole nother story that Gurudev tells. I'll tell it very quickly. We don't have much time, but I'm going to extend the time a little bit so that we can breeze through. But I can't leave this shloka behind without telling the story that Gurudev told to illustrate this shloka. There's a man walking through the forest. You heard this before. And this is a very beautiful day, and he's feeling so happy, and the birds are chirping, and everything is nice. He's enjoying himself, but then all of a sudden he hears a sound. And he looks behind himself. What does he see? Do you know?
Tiger.
A tiger. And the tiger looks at him. And what does he do? He starts running. Where? Anywhere. He starts looking where he can take shelter. And did the tiger also run? Or did he just walk behind him? No. Tiger is also running. Then what happened?
Fell in the well.
No, he didn't fall in the well. No. You will not understand this whole story if you think that he fell into the well. The jivas, the conditioned souls, they've all fallen into the well. But this story is told in a slightly different way. He sees a well, like covered with grass and stuff. And he's, oh, a well, okay. And then he also sees that just next to the well is a tree with long branches, and he can actually grab a hold of the branches and lower himself into the well. So he does that. And then he looks down, and what does he see? Snakes, poisonous snakes, hissing, and now he's stuck there, hanging by these two tree branches with the snakes below, and then all of a sudden the head of the tiger comes. Rawr! So what is the meaning of this story?
No way out.
Yeah, what else? What's the purport of this story? Who is the man? Us. And what is the forest?
Material life.
Forest of material existence. And what is the tiger?
Time, death.
Ever impending death. Always behind you. Death is always behind you. No one should think, no, I'm so young, I'm just a little boy, I will not die very soon, I will live for 70, 80, 90, 100 years. No, death is waiting for you. So then, the well is representing what? The Andakupam, what Prahlad Maharaj told, the dark well of materialistic household life. Trying to enjoy one's material senses in this material world. What are the two branches?
Day and night.
Yes, day and night. Is something else there on the branches?
Grass.
Yes. One is colored, what color?
White.
And one is? Black. And what do they represent? Day and night, which means, and they're also doing what? They're chewing on the branch. And now he sees, oh Krishna, I'm doomed. It's just a matter of time. Either the tiger will get me or the snake's in the bottom. So we've already kind of told the purport, but Gurudev used to tell this to illustrate this point, because Prahlad Maharaj is telling exactly this to his father. Get out of here! You should escape, because this is where the Atma is killed. Atmahana, killing of the soul. So you should leave immediately and you should go to the vana, to the forest. And there you should take shelter of Harim Ashrayeta. So he didn't like that. That answer was not liked by Hiranyakashipu. And then that whole pastime took place where he scolds the teachers, and then the teachers say, okay, we'll take him back. Then they took him and then they started talking heavily to Prahlad and saying, where have you learned this from? And and then Prahlad, he just started preaching to the teachers by saying about how it's so artificial in this world to have friends and enemies. This is your friend, this is your enemy. And this is an artificial state of mind, because actually ultimately no one is a friend or enemy. All the jivatmas are eternal, like that. So, but anyway, they started to teach him again. And now, sometime later, the same part of the story repeated itself again. And Prahlad was brought again in front of Hiranyakashipu. And they wanted to punish Prahlad, the teachers did. Oh, please bring me a stick. This Prahlad is damaging our name and fame. And because of his bad intelligence, he has become like a cinder in the dynasty of the demons. Now he needs to be treated by the fourth kind of the four kinds of political diplomacy. Do you know what those four kinds are? You do. Tell what they are.
First you try to convince somebody why they should do something.
Okay.
And then you bribe them.
Okay.
Then you threaten them.
Yes.
Then you beat them.
Yes. Yes. Very well said. Yes. So anyway, the story progresses to the point. After some time, the teachers Chandanamarka thought that Prahlad Maharaj was sufficiently educated in the diplomatic affairs of pacifying public leaders, appeasing them by giving them lucrative posts, dividing and ruling over them, punishing them in cases of disobedience. So then one day, after Prahlad's mother had personally washed the boy and dressed him nicely with sufficient ornaments, they presented him before his father. And when Hiranyakashipu saw his child had fallen at his feet and was offering obeisances as an affectionate father, he immediately began showering blessings upon the child. He embraced him with both arms. A father naturally feels happy to embrace his son, and Hiranyakashipu became very happy in this way. Narada Muni continued, my dear King Yudhishthir, Hiranyakashipu seated Prahlad Maharaj on his lap, and he began smelling his head with affectionate tears gliding down from Hiranyakashipu's eyes and moistening the child's smiling face. He spoke to his son as follows, oh, my dear son Prahlad, my dear son, long-lived one. That blessing didn't last very long. Long-lived, he talked to him like that. Oh, long-lived one, Prahlad, for so much time you have heard many things from your teachers. Now, please repeat to me whatever you think is the best of that knowledge. And then Prahlad Maharaj spoke the shloka that we said many times 2 nights ago, and you better repeat it loudly. Everyone, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. And then there's another shloka that says Itipun Sarpita Vishnu Bhaktischain Navalakshana Kriyeta Bhagavatyadha Tanmanye Aditam Uttamam. After Prahlad Maharaj tells the 9 processes of bhakti, the 9 limbs of bhakti, then he says, one who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods, he should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. Now, what do you think came into the mind of Hiranyakashipu at that time? Did he like what he just heard? No. After hearing these words of devotional service from the mouth of his son Prahlad, Hiranyakashipu was extremely angry, his lips trembling. He spoke as follows to Shanda and the son of his guru Shukracharya. O unqualified, most heinous son of a Brahmin, you have disobeyed my order and taken shelter of the party of my enemies. You have taught this poor boy about devotional service. What is this nonsense? So, then there's some more dialogue. And they try to tell. The teachers try to tell him, we have not taught him this. Please, don't blame us. He's somehow or other, it's just coming from him, naturally. So then Narada Muni said, when Hiranyakashipu received this reply from the teacher, he again addressed his son Prahlad. He said, you rascal, you most fallen of our family, if you have not received this education from your teachers, where have you gotten it? From where? And Prahlad Maharaj replied, 3 more shlokas. First one, Matirna Krishne Paratak Svatova Mito Bipadyeta Griha Vratanam Adanta Gobir Vishatam Tamishram Punak Punascharvita Charvananam. And then the next one, Nate Vidu Svartagatim Hi Vishnu. This is one of the most quoted shlokas by Srila Prabhupada in his purports. This shloka. Nate Vidu Svartagatim Hi Vishnum Durashayaye Bahiyartamanina Andhayatandair Upaniyamanam Te Pisha Tantrayam Urudam Nibadham. So I'm doing the other shloka first. Matirna Krishne Paratak Svatova. This is what he's answering to his father's question. Where have you learned this from? And then Prahlad says, because of their uncontrolled senses, persons who are too addicted to materialistic life, they make progress toward hellish conditions, and they repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Their inclinations towards Krishna are never aroused, either by the instructions of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both. So Matirna Krishna, someone cannot become Krishna conscious, neither by their own efforts, neither by the efforts of others, or a combination of both. Because why? Because Griha Vrata. They have taken a vow to try to enjoy within this material world, and therefore their senses are adanta gobi. Adanta means they're not controlled, like a rope is not tied properly. So adanta gobir vishatam tamishram. They will head only toward tamishra, which is hellish suffering. And in that condition, punak punak charvita charvananam. Charva means chewing. So again and again, punak punak charvita charvananam. They will simply chew the chewed, lifetime after lifetime. And then the next verse, where Prahlad is saying, Nate vidu svarta gatim hi Vishnu. They do not know. Nate vidu means they do not know. What is their svarta gati? Svarta gati means the goal of their existence, of their life, for their own benefit. They actually don't know that the goal, their svarta gati, is Vishnu. They don't know this. So imagine, Prahlad Maharaj is telling this straight to the face of Hiranyakashipu. These persons are foolish. They don't know that the goal of their life is Vishnu. Durashraye bahirartamanina. And they are always trying to enjoy this material world, bahir artamanina, considering that all these objects of this world are valuable and they should enjoy them. But andhayatandayar upaniyamana. Andha means blind, person who is blind. They cannot see. And then yata andha means other blind persons. So what happens? None of them can see where they're going. So, but the blind person leads the other blind persons, and then what ultimately happens? They fall into a ditch, all of them, you see. Te pisha tantrayam urudamni badha. Yes. They are strongly bound hand and foot by the strong rules of and laws of material nature. By Isha Tantriyam, the ropes and the laws of the material nature. So now comes the third shloka, and then after the third shloka, then Hiranyakashipu has had it. So, but this third shloka is very beautiful because Prahlad is telling how a person can attain the perfection of life. He says, Naisham matistavad urukramangrim sprishartyana anartha pagamo yad artha mahiyasam padarajo bhishekam nishkinshananam navranita yavat. So here, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, unless these persons smear upon their bodies the dust of the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, who's completely freed from material contamination, persons very much inclined toward materialistic life cannot become attached to the lotus feet of the Lord. Unless they do what? Smear what? Dust from the lotus feet of who? Pure Vaishnavas. They cannot become attached to the Lord, who is glorified for his uncommon activities. Only by becoming Krishna conscious, taking shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, in this way one can be freed from material contamination. When Hiranyakashipu heard this, he was blinded by anger. He threw Prahlad off of his lap onto the ground. He was so angry, his eyes were reddish like molten copper. And then Hiranyakashipu said to his servants, "O demons, take this boy away from me. He deserves to be killed. Kill him as soon as possible." And you all know what happened then. Okay, we're not going to go in details because the clock is ticking along. But you know that he was thrown from mountains. He was put under the feet of elephants. He was offered poison, put in a pit of snakes, of poisonous snakes. What else?
Lions.
Lions. What else?
Had a rock thrown, tied in and thrown into the ocean.
Yes. They tried to drown him. They tried to freeze him. They tried to burn him. They tried to poison him. Put him under the foot of an elephant to squash him. Did it work? Tell me, you two boys. Did Prahlad die from all that?
No.
Why not? Why didn't he die?
Because he was chanting Krishna's name every time.
Yes, and he was remembering Krishna all the time. Yes? Very good. So now, they tried. They tried and tried and tried, and Hiranyakashipu was watching. He was watching, and he was becoming more and more, what? Depressed. And now he started to even feel fear. This boy can't be killed. He's more powerful than me. Okay. Maybe he will grow up and he'll become my enemy. And then he began to think like in that way. So now, the teachers, they told to Hiranyakashipu, they said, don't worry. He's just a small boy. As he grows, he'll forget everything that you tried to do. That you tried to kill him in all these different ways. He'll just overlook it and he'll forget it. So they brought him again back to school. And what happened when he went back to the school? Then in course of time, the teachers had to leave to go somewhere. And what did Prahlad Maharaj do? He gathered all of his little boys, the sons of the demons, and they sat around him. They liked him very much because Prahlad was so beautiful and he had such beautiful qualities. And then they wanted to say, "Oh, Prahlad, we should play now," because the teachers are gone. And then Prahlad began to teach them about what? Komaram acharit pragya dharman bhagavataniha. What does that mean? It means that Bhagavat Dharma should be taught at the very early stages. Komaram, in boyhood, in childhood. The knowledge of Bhagavat Tattva should be taught to the children. And in this way, Prahlad Maharaj began to speak to them. He also told them, don't think that you have a big long time. Because they're thinking, we're children now. It's time for us to play. When we grow older, then we can do other things and work and this and that. And he said, no. Because suppose you're going to live 100 years. But during that time, you're going to sleep 12 hours a day. And that means you only have 50 years. And then in the beginning of your life, for the first 15, 20 years, you're just a foolish teenage boy doing all nonsense. And in the end of your life, then you're old man and you're all invalid and you also can't do. So really you don't have a very long time. So you have to start now. And in this way, he convinced the children, and then the children, they all agreed with Prahlad, and then Prahlad started kirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. So then, Hiranyakashipu was informed what's going on. And then he came there. He was so angry. And now he had made his decision, I'm going to kill him. And then he addressed Prahlad, and then again there was a little exchange, and Prahlad again assured him that he should take this pathway to worship Lord Vishnu. And then what happened? Then Hiranyakashipu said, so, where do you get your power from? Where do you get your power?
From Krishna.
And then he answered, I get my power from the same place that you get your power, my dear father. And everybody else, they also get their power from the same source. That is the Supreme Lord. And then Hiranyakashipu said, okay, so where is this powerful protector and Lord of yours? And then Hiranyakashipu was getting very ready. He says, is he in this pillar? You said he's everywhere. Because Prahlad answered the question by saying, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. He's in everything. And then he said, is he in this pillar? And Prahlad said, yes. When we do the dramas, sometimes they show the eyes of Lord Nrsingadev peeking out from within the pillar. And Prahlad sees, oh yes, he's here. And then, okay, then I'm going to destroy him. And then what did he do? He took out his sword, and with his fist holding the sword, he smashed the pillar. And then what happened? This is exactly the time when it happened. Just like this. Yes. Give me just a second. I'm going to find. There's such a beautiful description. Okay. And also Prahlad taught his friends what he had heard from Narada Muni when he was in the womb. Yes, so then so now I just wanted to read the description of Lord Nrsingadev. So amazing. Yes. So being obsessed with anger, Hiranyakashipu, who was very great in bodily strength, chastised Prahlad, his devotee son, with harsh words. Then he took his sword, and with great anger he struck his fist against the column. Then from within the pillar came a fearful sound, which appeared to crack the covering of the universe. Oh my dear Yudhishthir, this sound reached even the abodes of the demigods like Lord Brahma. And when the demigods heard it, they thought, oh now our planets are being destroyed. So while showing his extraordinary prowess, Hiranyakashipu, who desired to kill his own son, heard that wonderful tumultuous sound which had never before been heard. And upon hearing the sound, the other leaders of the demons were afraid, and none of them could find the origin of that sound in the assembly. And to prove that the statement of his servant Prahlad Maharaj was substantial, in other words, to prove that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, even within the pillar, then the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, exhibited a wonderful form never before seen. The form was neither that of a man nor that of a what?
Lion.
Yes. He was neither of them, but he was both of them, combined together. What? Man and?
Lion.
Yes. And thus the Lord appeared in his wonderful form in the assembly hall. While Hiranyakashipu looked all around to find the source of that sound, that wonderful form of the Lord, which could not be ascertained to be either a man or a lion, emerged from the pillar. In amazement, Hiranyakashipu wondered, what is this creature that is half man and half lion? Hiranyakashipu studied the form of the Lord, trying to decide who the form of Nrsingadev standing before him was. The Lord's form was extremely fearsome because of his angry eyes, which resembled molten gold, his shining mane, which expanded the dimensions of his fearful face, his deadly teeth, his razor-sharp tongue, which moved about like a dueling sword. His ears were erect and motionless. His nostrils' gaping mouth appeared like caves of a mountain. His jaws parted fearfully, and his entire body touched the sky. His neck was very short and thick, his chest broad, his waist thin, the hairs on his body as white as the rays of the moon. His arms, which resembled flanks of soldiers, spread in all directions. He had many arms. And then he began to kill all the demons, the rogues, and the atheists with his conch shell, disc, club, lotus, and other natural weapons. And Hiranyakashipu murmured to himself, Lord Vishnu, who possesses great mystic power, has made this plan to kill me. But what is the use of such an attempt? Who can fight with me? Thinking like this and taking up his club, Hiranyakashipu attacked the Lord like an elephant. And just as a small insect falls forcefully into a fire, and the insignificant creature becomes invisible, when Hiranyakashipu attacked the Lord, who was full of effulgence, Hiranyakashipu became invisible. This is not at all astonishing, for the Lord is always situated in pure goodness. Formerly, during creation, he entered the dark universe and illuminated it by his spiritual effulgence. And thereafter, the great demon Hiranyakashipu, who was extremely angry, swiftly attacked Nrsingadev with his club, and he began to beat him. And Lord Nrsingadev, however, captured the great demon. He captured the great demon along with his club, just as Garuda might capture a great snake. O Yudhishthir, O great son of Bharat, when Lord Nrsingadev gave Hiranyakashipu a chance to slip from his hand, who gave him a chance to slip from his hand? Lord Nrsingadev. He gave him a chance to slip from his hand. Then, just as Garuda sometimes plays with a snake and lets it slip from his mouth, the demigods, who had lost their abodes and who were hiding behind the clouds for fear of the demon, they did not consider that incident very good. Indeed, they were perturbed. And when Hiranyakashipu was freed from the hands of Nrsingadev, he falsely thought that the Lord was afraid of his prowess. Therefore, after taking a little rest from the fight, he took up his sword and shield and again attacked the Lord with great force. Making a loud, shrill sound of laughter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan, who is extremely strong and powerful, captured Hiranyakashipu, who was protecting himself with his sword and shield, leaving no gaps open. With the speed of a hawk, Hiranyakashipu moved sometimes in the sky, sometimes on the earth, his eyes closed because of fear of Nrsingadev's laughter. As a snake captures a mouse of Garuda, or Garuda captures very venomous snake, Lord Nrsingadev captured Hiranyakashipu. Who did Lord Nrsingadev capture? Say his name louder. Yes. He captured him. Lord Nrsingadev captured him, who could not be pierced even by the thunderbolt of King Indra. And as Hiranyakashipu moved his limbs here and there and all around, very much afflicted at being captured, Lord Nrsingadev placed the demon on his what?
Lap.
His lap, supporting him with his thighs. And in the doorway of the assembly hall, the Lord very easily tore the demon to pieces with the what? Nails of his what? Of his hands. Nrsinga Bhagavan ki jai. Lord Nrsingadev's mouth and his mane were sprinkled with drops of blood. His fierce eyes, full of anger, were impossible to look at. Licking the edge of his mouth with his tongue, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Nrsingadev, decorated with a garland of intestines taken from Hiranyakashipu's abdomen, resembled a lion that had just killed an elephant. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who had many, many arms, first uprooted Hiranyakashipu's heart. Did you know that? He took out his heart and he threw it at a distance. Yes. And then all the demon soldiers, Nrsingadev turned and looked at all the soldiers. There were thousands of soldiers ready to fight with Nrsingadev with raised weapons. But then Lord Nrsingadev killed all of them merely with the ends of his nails. The ends of his what? Nails. He killed all the soldiers. The hair on Nrsingadev's head shook the clouds, scattered them here and there. His glaring eyes stole the effulgence of the luminaries in the sky. His breathing agitated the seas and oceans. Because of his roaring, all the elephants in the world began to cry in fear. What was Nrsingadev doing?
Roaring.
Roaring? Was he roaring? Yes, he was roaring. I want to hear all of you together roaring. Everyone, louder! Louder! And airplanes were thrown into outer space, the upper planetary system, by the hair on Nrsingadev's head. And because of the pressure of the Lord's lotus feet, the earth appeared to slip from its position. All the hills, mountains sprang up due to his intolerable force. And because of the Lord's bodily effulgence, both the sky and all direction diminished in their natural illumination. Then manifesting a full effulgence and a fearsome countenance, Lord Nrsinga became very angry, and finding no contestant to face his power and opulence, he sat down on the assembly hall on the excellent throne of the king. And because of fear and obedience, no one could come before and serve the Lord directly. So in this way, this is the description of what we're celebrating on this day. How Lord Nrsingadev appeared, killed the demon Hiranyakashipu very, very easily, and killed all the soldiers. And then he sat down on the throne, and all the demigods, they couldn't come close to him because he was so angry. They couldn't calm him down. He was so angry. So then, gradually, the demigods came forward, and from a distance, they began to offer prayers. Lord Brahma offered prayers. Lord Shiva offered prayers. Indra, Surya, Chandra, all the different demigods offered prayers from a distance. But still, Lord Nrsingadev was not appeased. And then Lord Brahma said, Prahlad, you have to go. He's appeared for your sake. So you have to go and pay obeisances before the Lord. And then Prahlad Maharaj came and he paid obeisances at the lotus feet of Lord Nrsingadev. And Lord Nrsingadev became overwhelmed with emotions and love for Prahlad. And he picked up Prahlad, and then he put his lotus hand on the head of Prahlad. And then at that time Prahlad became completely transcendental and full of all transcendental knowledge. And he offered many, many prayers, which we don't have time to tell tonight. So you're just going to have to read them on your own. But one thing that Prahlad wanted to say, because Lord Nrsingadev wanted Prahlad to accept benediction, right? But Prahlad told Lord Nrsingadev, my dear Lord, I don't have a relationship of being a businessman with you. That you will get some, I will get this, you will get, no. I do not have any desire to be fulfilled by you. And then Lord Nrsingadev continued to press him. No, but you must ask. And then what did he ask? My father was a great demon. My father was so much opposed to you, and he committed great offense against you. So I want that my father will not have to go to hellish regions by committing such offenses. And then, what did Lord Nrsingadev answer? You don't have to worry about that. Because guess what? He's already been liberated by my killing him. You see? No need. Not only that, Prahlad, because you're his son. And you're a pure devotee of the highest order. Not only he will be liberated, but who else? 21 generations past, 21 generations into the future. Now we've also learned that if someone is a devotee and they're Madhyam Adhikari, they can also liberate their forefathers for how many generations? 14. And if someone is even in Kanishta level but sincerely practicing bhakti, they took birth in this family and dynasty, they can also liberate how many? 7. So in this way, then Lord Nrsingadev told Prahlad, I want that you will accept this kingdom. You should sit on the throne of your father. You should rule for so long, and you should continually worship me. And in that way, Prahlad Maharaj agreed. Okay, I will accept that benediction. Then Nrsingadev disappeared from that assembly, and then Prahlad Maharaj continued to be to live his life as Lord Nrsingadev desired that he should live his life. So Bhakta Pravara Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Shri Nrsinga Bhagavan ki jai, Jai Shri Prahlad Nrsinga ki jai, Jai Shri Lakshmi Nrsinga ki jai, Nrsingadeva ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaur Premanande. So now we're going to have Abhishek, and after the Abhishek, during and after we'll have some kirtan, and then after that prasadam will be served. Okay? Everyone stand up. Take your instruments. We will start by singing the prayers to Lord Nrsingadev. But the Abhishek should start now. Now everything is already there, right? Is there anything else that needs to be gotten?
Almost there.
Everything is... Huh?
About 2 minutes.
2 more minutes. Okay. Okay. Give me the mridanga. Okay. Gong, kartals, everything. Namaste Narashringaya. Namaste. Jaya Astasaki Shiromani Radhe Radhe Astasaki Shiromani Radhe Radhe Jaya Bhanu Manu Modi Radhe Radhe Bhanu Manu Modi Radhe Radhe Jai Suparikar Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Ki Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Shri Shri Radha Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Jiva Ki Jai Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Astatara Sata Shri Shila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Astatara Sata Shri Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Astatara Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Astatara Sata Shri Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Astatara Sata Shri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Mahabhagavat Srila Gaura Das Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Gaudiya Vedanta Charja Baladevi Vibhusan Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Shri Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Trai Ki Jai Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sada Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Srila Swarup Damodar Roy Ramananda Hari Gaur Parsada Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Jai Shri Antaradvip Mayapur Simantadvip Godrundvip Madhidvip Koladvip Ritadvip Janadvip Modrundvip Rudvip Atmaka Shri Shri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Jai Shri Nishringa Palli Ki Jai Shri Nishringa Palli Ki Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dwadash Vinatmaka Shri Braj Mandala Dham Ki Jai Shri Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Yamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Radha Gopinath Radha Madan Mohan Jiva Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Ramanda Radha Damodar Jiva Ki Jai Srimati Lalita Vishaka Adi Ashta Sakhi Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Rupa Manjari Rati Manjari Nanga Manjari Adi Manjari Vrinda Ki Jai Srimati Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Srimati Purnamasi Yoga Maya Devi Ki Jai Shri Gopishwar Mahadev Ki Jai Sarva Bhishta Pradata Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Jio Ki Jai Shri Purushottam Kshetra Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Bhakti Vigna Vinashana Shri Nishringa Dev Ki Bhakti Vigna Vinashana Shri Nishringa Dev Ki Bhakti Vigna Vinashana Shri Nishringa Dev Ki Bhakta Pravara Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Bhakta Pravara Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Bhakta Pravara Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Charodam Charo Sampradaya Charo Acharya Ki Akara Matraj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Aura Nanya Shakamat Samuha Ki Jai Shri Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Tribhuvana Pavana Harinam Sankirtana Ki Tribhuvana Mangala Harinam Prabhu Ki Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Sachinandan Gaura Hari Ki Shri Nityananda Mahajana Ki Shri Pancha Tattva Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Nishringa Chaturdasi Ki Shri Nishringa Chaturdasi Ki Shri Nishringa Chaturdasi Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Om Vrindai Tulsidevai Priyai Kesavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sarva Vaishnava Vrinda Dandavat Pranam Hari Hari.